If you've ever opened a virus on your PC, then you know what's coming next. It's the fellas.
You know what I find weird? It's like any... And I don't know if maybe DC is just fucking with me. I used to always be a DC fanboy as opposed to a Marvel fanboy.
Yeah.
It's weird. All the books I love the most, DC would just come out with some whack-ass movies. And I mean, I look at it like, well, I guess it could have been worse. Not 100% pure whack, but it's like, it seems like they're just trying to keep up with Marvel. The ones I never gave anything close to a fuck about, like Wonder Woman, would come out and I was like, shit, that was much better. Maybe not nut-bustingly good, but that was fucking good. The shit that I didn't even want to fucking see, I'd go in there and watch it and like, oh, that's shit, that's actually fucking good. All I really hoped for, at the very least, with this Aquaman, because again, this is some shit I didn't want to go see. At least with Aquaman, I was like, the best I can hope for is this shit isn't just laughably Aquaman type corny.
Look, the only thing I found nut-busting about this movie was Amber Heard. I mean, she was drop-dead gorgeous.
I don't know if we could thank Amber Heard for that, because, I mean, it was the way they were trying to, like, doll her up. I don't know if you noticed it, but I noticed it. There would be scenes, because she's always in this skin-tight shit. There would be times when they would just fucking squeeze her into this push-up bra that's just shoving nothing but titties in your face. Now, I ain't gonna complain, but I'm like, really? I mean, here, let me give you a second. All right, look at this picture. Okay, no, look over. Look at this. Look, what are you doing?
Wow. I don't know. Her star meter's at number 2. That means that everybody's been looking at her titties and her body the whole week. Well, she's number 2.
All right, whatever. Look at this. Look over here. Okay, you see this picture?
Yeah.
Okay, oh, hot. Okay, not bad. And then you look at this.
Jesus Christ.
Really?
Yeah.
Really, I mean, look at this shit. She is busting out of this outfit. It all just depends on what they want her to look like. If she's not going to be running around and doing a lot of shit, they're just going to put her in some shit where she is just busting out of it.
Holy shit, man.
I think they actually did quite a passable job of making Aquaman somewhat serious. Even the corny, shitty classic costume. Yeah. At one point, they even put him in there and they explain why he's wearing that dumb shit, and it's somewhat respectable.
Yes.
And he actually carries it with some form of dignity. I'm like, all right. Now, even though Jason Momoa is just tragically bad at acting, I mean, if you put him in something where he maybe says 1 or 2 words and just grunts, it's fine. But Jason Momoa is nothing but some abs and a nice head of hair, and that's it. That's what's cashing his paychecks, because he can't act for shit.
Nah, he's got good one-liners, though.
No, I'm not even going to give you that. Permission to come aboard. Fuck out of here. He can't even pull off the one-liners. And yeah, you can go to the old standby, well, the writing's bad. Yeah, but you can only give the writing so much blame. That fucker can't act for shit. He just flexes his fucking muscles every now and then, get the panties wet.
Well, he got the panties wet, like, in the first 5 minutes of this movie.
No matter where he goes, he's in tight jeans every fucking scene.
That's true. I would say at the very beginning of the movie, he went on top of that sub rescuing it, and everything he did to those guys, of course, you know, supposedly he didn't kill them. Everything he did would have killed a regular person.
Well, let's give some context so they don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
First of all, this movie is basically going into the story of how Aquaman becomes Aquaman. Now, what fucks it up is this happens after the whole Justice League thing. This should have been before the Justice League.
Oh my God.
They should have put this movie out before the Justice League. But again, DC's playing catch up. That's all they fucking do is play catch up. They need to just start this shit all over. I'll let them keep Wonder Woman. Fuck it. I'll even let them keep Aquaman. But the Batman v Superman shit, pointless. Start all that over. And the worst part is, I fucking like the Superman movie. Everyone else was shitting all over it. I fucking like that movie. I will go on record.
I heard there was a rumor they were going to replace him.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, they weren't too pleased with that dick sizing shit they pulled on fucking Justice League.
I mean,
I gotta spend a couple $100,000 to CGI off a goddamn mustache.
You know, the sad part is that Marvel successfully did that to the Hulk.
Did what?
Replaced Ed Norton to Mark Ruffalo, but it was such a side character actor, but Superman is such a pillar and center point for the DC universe to be switching
It doesn't
actors.
matter about you switching actors. It really doesn't. If the film in and of itself is forgettable, nobody gives a shit. Now, I was pissed as hell when I saw Ed Norton wasn't the Hulk, but this new guy pulled it off enough. This new guy who they had as the Hulk,
Mark Ruffalo
did a much better job pretending to be a scared, scrawny type guy.
Yes.
A guy who's constantly afraid of everything. He did a much better job of that than Ed Norton.
Yes.
Ed Norton didn't pull off the whole, I'm just afraid of everything, this and that. Ed Norton was more of, I just don't want to be bothered. I don't want it coming out. And you say, all right, that's cool. So I had no problems with that. But Superman Returns and Man of Steel, they did really forgettable jobs. So no one's really going to care all that much. But again, I will say I fucking love Man of Steel. Maybe I'm in the minority of that. I digress. We've gotten off. This whole thing takes place after the Justice League. And it's how does Aquaman become the king of Atlantis? How does Aquaman become the Aquaman that we all know and love? Not showing us, hey, this is the Aquaman that you all know and love. Let's put him in the Justice League. No. Get that fucking Justice League movie out there as quick as possible. Here's this guy. He seems like a joke. No one fucking cares. Now we will make you care about who he is. That's ass backwards. Okay? Even Marvel had the good common sense to put in a half-ass Ant-Man movie just so when Civil War comes out, you're like, oh shit, that's Ant-Man. I know who that is.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You don't put Civil War first and then do a movie about why you should like him. No. DC's really doing it backwards. But I digress. The movie was good, which is what makes the whole thing hurt so much. So I do like the writing of it. I like the direction that they went in. Jason Momoa's being the same asshat that he was in Justice League, but they're kind of giving a reason for it, even though it's still, stilted. I also like the fact that they went with the classic Aquaman origin story. Somber lighthouse keeper finds this woman washed up on shore. They fall in love. They have a kid. Apparently she's the queen of Atlantis, that sort of thing. And, it was a thing in the book for a while that Aquaman had to go in there. Arthur Curry, he has to go in there and fight for the throne of Atlantis because he would be the only thing stopping them from warring with the land dwellers and whatnot. So they kept that sort of thing in. I think I probably would have preferred it if they would have had the bitter, dark version of Aquaman that they used to have sometimes also. It was like, I don't want to have anything to do with you fuckers up on land. I really don't.
Oh my God.
I'm only working with you guys because if I don't see what it is you're doing that's causing all this havoc, I'm just going to go and just start fucking wiping you guys out.
Oh my Lord.
That was the only reason he joined the Justice League. I want to see with my own eyes that keeping you alive is not as bad as just wiping you out. If I can see that you're doing more good than evil, I won't make the sea levels rise and kill all you guys. His half-brother sitting on the throne, we need a half-ass reason for him to be the antagonist, and we get that. He wants to wipe out the surface dwellers for some reason.
They really never explain further why.
I think they tried to imply that Arthur Curry's mother, Atlanta, played by Nicole Kidman, who I did find it was kind of weird when she first showed up. They actually used digital CGI and whatnot to make her look younger, and that felt weird.
Because she already looked young as shit.
Yeah, she doesn't look too bad. It's just like, damn, they're making her look fucking weird. And also, that's how you know she's not really dead. Because why bother making her look young if you're not just going to have her showing up later on looking old? I think they were trying to say that their society, because of what she did, she has to be sentenced to death, but not before she produces an heir. Because, they need an heir for the kingdom. And as soon as she produces that heir, toss her in the trench because she did something bad. The current king is like, man, I miss my mom, but this is the way things are done. I can't do nothing about that. But you know what? Let me just blame the surface world for that. Had she not chosen to go up there and get knocked up, this never would have happened. So let me just blame them and destroy everyone. But yeah, it's like, oh, they're sending their warships on the water and they're throwing garbage in the water, so we should kill them all. And I'm like, the ocean's pretty fucking big, man. I don't think you'd really notice.
Yeah, we only use like 10% of the world's surface.
Only like 10% of the world's surface is land. Everything else is ocean. It's like, I don't think you'd really notice if we're throwing garbage in there. I just, whatever. It's a half-assed excuse. Patrick Wilson's acting seemed really stunted.
But he always plays a villain in most movies.
Well, you'd
He's
think
rarely
he'd do a
good
better
guy.
job of it by now, man.
You know, the thing is, it was probably the CG that also probably affected his...
I guess, man. I mean, I'm sitting there the whole time thinking that Willem Dafoe was the real bad guy.
I
But
thought
Willem
so,
Dafoe was the steward, the king's right hand. I forget what the fuck they call those things.
The confidant?
The visor, the vizier, the
no,
visor.
advisor. The advisor?
No, but they're called like the visor or some shit.
Yeah, I'm so used to William Dafoe being like a bad guy because you look at him
That's
and
why
you
I
think
thought he
of
was
the
the
Green
fucking
Goblin.
bad guy. I thought he was the bad guy. I mean, the guy has a face like fucking Skeletor, man. He begging to be the bad guy. Just look at his face. If I see that dude on the street, I'm like, the fuck?
He's probably murdered
guy
like 10
just
or,
killed somebody?
20 guys.
I bet this motherfucker got like 5 bodies in his trunk. Search him. Cavity search, goddammit. He's a scary looking son of a bitch.
Yeah, even though when he's actually smiling, he looks like he's devising to kill you.
You know what was weird? Dolph Lundgren plays King Nerus. I'm just happy he's got work. And I'll say, he didn't have many lines, but he still got it.
Yeah, he got it. Guy's a fucking genius,
what
man.
he delivered, I'll look at it this way. His character, he would just give you a look that just gave off this idea that this dude is stately. There was a lot of politics going on, and he did a pretty good job of playing it off. You see, the idea is Patrick Wilson, I'm just going to call him King Orm, the king of Atlantis. He wants to be known as Ocean Master. Yeah, that's right. A 6-year-old wrote this. He wants to be Ocean Master, and you can only have Ocean Master when you have an alliance of all these kingdoms waging war against the surface world, and whoever's in charge of the coalition is Ocean Master. Think of it as like a 5-star general. You can only have a 5-star general when you're in a world war.
Yeah.
He wants to be a 5-star general. Why? Honestly, I don't know, because it really looks like Atlantis by itself could wipe out most of the population of the planet just by flooding every fucking thing. So I don't get it. But either way, of the 7 kingdoms, you have to have at least 4 kingdoms in this coalition to be known as the Ocean Master. 3 of them are like gone, because one of them is the Trench, and they're just nothing but savages now. Their whole fucking kingdom's all fucked up. I forget what happened to the other 2. So he's like, okay, there's Atlantis, there's this other guy's kingdom, there's the kingdom of the fisher folk. Fishermen, and then the crab people. Crab people are basically dwarves, and the fishermen are philosophers. And the thing is, Dolph Lundgren, King Nerus, he's more of an action type guy.
Yeah.
Actions speak louder than words. You know, between him and Atlantis, they've got like the most powerful kingdoms.
Yes.
And he's like, look, I want this guy on my side, but the only way I'm going to get this guy on my side is if I show him that, hey, we need to take action. We're guaranteed to take action. So there was like this half-assed attack by a submarine, and you can see it's obviously staged.
Yeah.
Obviously. And he's like, oh, you're right, the humans are a threat, and blah, blah, blah. And then his daughter, Mara, who's played by Amber Heard, she's like, yeah, don't you think it's very convenient for that submarine to come out of nowhere and start attacking you? And then she looks at him, she's like, oh, you motherfucker, you knew. You know it was bullshit. You were just looking for an excuse because you were going to do this anyway, and you want him to think that, you know, he was able to trick you into this. You're going into this completely with your eyes open, but at any point you can jump up and be like, oh, wait a minute, I now realize I was lied to. You know, plausible deniability makes things so much more convenient. So he's kind of in on it, and the guy has to have this dude's kingdom in, because between the 2 of them, they can bully the fishermen because they're philosophers. I found that to be fucking weird. Just out of nowhere, it's like, oh, yes, your highness, we want you in here so that we can do this thing. And it's like, look, dude, I don't want to wage war with humans. You know, we're philosophers. I want to go up there and teach them philosophy and this and that and whatever. And the dude just fucking murders him in his own goddamn throne room. I'm like, what the f...
Yeah,
in front of his guards and everything.
Like they didn't need to be bothered and shit for security.
So I'm like, why in the fuck would he do that? And apparently he's in that because, look, between the 2 of us, we have such a large army. I just killed your king. I can walk my army in here and just destroy this entire fucking kingdom. Or his next in line, his wife, can just be like, yeah, fuck it. All right, whatever, we'll join. And he didn't even really need them. It's just they have to be there so he can have 4 armies to give himself this title. Which, again, is fucking retarded. I don't even know why he wants it.
And so that's pretty much the plot, all rolled into one.
Oh, yeah. And they're like, oh, if Aquaman gets this super trident trident, that will mean he is the worthy king. Because originally, Atlantis was this ginormous kingdom, and it split off into 7 different kingdoms when it sank. And he's like, yeah, if you can get the trident of the original king, then you're basically ruling all of them again. You're king of all 7 of the seas. You get 7 kingdoms, 7 seas, that sort of thing.
It wasn't horrible. I would say that.
I mean, the only real problem was there were a lot of scenes, and this is the death knell for any movie, that didn't actually contribute to the plot. I've always said, I said it then, I'll say it now, every fucking scene, I don't care how minute, there could be a scene where he's sitting on a toilet pinching off a loaf. This needs to move the plot forward somehow.
Yes.
And there were a lot of scenes where they would try to make it seem like foreshadowing, but it really wasn't.
I think it's because they tried to pull a little comedy off a little bit as well.
I don't know if that's the problem. I think there was too much fucking action, if anything.
No, I think what they were trying to do, they were trying to make a movie that wasn't brooding, and so James Wan did a good enough where it didn't feel like it was too much of a downer movie.
Well, it wasn't brooding nearly as much.
I think he did a really decent job. I mean, it felt campy.
He did more than a decent
job. It
job.
felt really campy at times. The movie felt campy, like it couldn't take itself serious.
That's because it couldn't.
Yeah, like that one scene. Well, spoiler alert.
James Wan. Go ahead. What one scene?
Where he's at the bar with his dad, and I turn and he's like, okay, what's going on? And then the news goes on, and you see this dude talking on and on about Atlantis. It seems kind of ridiculous. Even the character himself seemed really ridiculous talking about Atlantis.
What bothered me with that was they're doing this sort of Fox News thing. It's like,
Dr. Stephen Shin.
Jesus, Stephen Shin. Clearly, there were giant waves that messed up a bunch of stuff. Clearly, Atlantis is real. Like, the fuck are you talking about? Now, what upset me was that at this point, they didn't know Atlantis was real.
Yeah.
I could have said Atlantis is not real if it weren't for the fact that you already had the Justice League movie. To me, that killed it. That fucking kid, like, hey, there's this sea guy running around. What the fuck's going on? I could have seen them doing this movie before Justice League, and then when the whole thing is done, Arthur Curry comes out to the world and was like, yeah, Atlantis is real. We never told you because we don't want shit to do with you guys. I'm going to change that. I'm from the surface world. We're going to make talks. We'll send an envoy to the UN or something like that. Whatever. It's all real.
But, once that character was going off, he's at the bar drinking with his dad. And then all of a sudden, these goons come up behind him. And I'm like, where the fuck is this coming? At first, I was like, if they're going to start a fight, the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah.
Because it's enough freaking action scenes.
Hey, you that fishy boy? It's Fishman. Yeah, well, I got something for you. And he whips out his phone. Can we get a picture with you, man? And they're sitting there taking selfies with the guy and shit. And they start, like, buying him drinks. I'm like, all right, I see where it's going.
It was funny.
And that's when you get to see this chick, Amber Heard, playing as Mara with her titties about to pop out of the fucking outfit.
You heard? She was nut-busting exciting in this movie.
I will say one thing that pissed me off. I don't know what version of Aquaman they're pulling out here, but Aquaman is not bulletproof. They made him like super duper. No, he's not.
Oh.
This dude was like Superman level bulletproof. Really, the only person that's supposed to be bulletproof, if we're going 100% canon, should really be Superman.
Oh.
I mean, a lot of people, there's Wonder Woman. No, she uses her bracelets to deflect bullets because when them shits hit, they fucking hurt because they break skin. She's probably not going to die. She's got super healing, but them fuckers hurt. But you got this guy, they're trying to stab him with knives and shit, and the knives are bending, and he's taking bullets to the face and walking it off, jumping out of a fucking airplane and just hit the ground and then get up. Hey, you shouldn't jump out of an airplane without a parachute.
Which I thought was kind of funny.
It was funny to me in the fact that it was unexpected. I thought what was going to happen was they're going to jump out of the plane. So, this is the Sahara Sea. And they jump out, and right when they're supposed to hit the ground, they end up going through it, and they're like in an ocean. It's like, it's a hologram or some shit. No, they just hit the ground, poof, and they just get up and start walking. I'm like, what the fuck? That was fucking lazy.
I love the fact that they casted
Manta? Yeah, I can't even pronounce that dude's name. Oh, yeah, they casted Mecha Lecca High Mecha Heidi Ho the second to play Manta. How do you even pronounce this dude's? Okay, Yahya Abdul Mateen II. That's the dude's name. So you go ahead and take that. They should have given him more. I mean, to me, what they gave him was shit. I was just happy to see Manta there. They gave him a bit of a bit role. To me, Manta could have gotten his own movie worth of being villain, but the thing is, his character in the comic books was never driven enough to want to, like, let's say, rule the world. Well, he's just a pirate.
My biggest problem about this character is whoever was the makeup artist and the costume designer, why would they give him an exact haircut than Kevin Hart? Because every fucking shot when he took off his helmet,
Kevin Hart?
I was like, is that motherfucking Kevin Hart? I was like, shit, this motherfucker looked like Kevin Hart.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the way Manta looks. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, he looked like fucking Kevin Hart, dude.
That's the way Manta. Maybe Kevin Hart looks like Manta. What do you want me to tell you, man? That's pretty much what it was.
I mean, does Manta have the engineering skills to be building shit, taking alien technology and just fucking reconfiguring it?
Originally, no, but the way they write him now, because you can't just have some guy that wants to rob banks. He has to have a
bank
goal,
robber.
and he has to. Huh?
I don't know Manta's character at all, so.
Technically, he was a bank robber. I mean, the only reason Aquaman doesn't like him is he's like, yeah, look, I know where all the good shit is, all the treasures, all the history that lies under the sea. And to us, it's like, oh man, that's a piece of history that we need to find and bring back to the surface and put in the museum. But to them, it's like, no, that's the piece of our landscape that has our history and our culture. Let's say someone just showed up one day and it's like, oh man, look at this Empire State Building. This looks really nice. Let me just rip this out and take this under the ocean somewhere. And we kind of be like, yo, what the fuck? That's ours. No, it's just some building that crashed here and it's filled with Spanish doubloons. Yeah, but that's a part of our culture. That's on our property. It's in our kingdom.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a national monument. Even if it happened by accident, it's a national monument. It's a part of our culture. You can't be showing up taking that shit. And he's like, man, I need to find a way to steal this shit without these guys getting on my fucking case and steal people's shit. They're not going to be really happy about that. And that was it. Manta Ray had no designs to be anything more than that. I'm a guy who's going to steal shit. And there's a lot of money to be made stealing shit from underwater.
And that's it.
And Aquaman doesn't like that, and he wants to stop me.
So, okay.
That's it. I mean,
that's
if
his
you
arch
wanna,
nemesis? Is that literally his arch nemesis?
If you want to take it any deeper than that, you could be like, well, he also does acts of terrorism, whatever you're going to pay him for, because he's a pirate. I mean, back in the day, the golden age of comics, oh, here's the Ocean Man. Who's his nemesis going to be? Fucking pirate. Pirates are bad guys, right?
Yeah.
There's Ocean Man and a pirate, because pirates are on the ocean, and they're going to fight with swords and shit.
I thought the one thing that kind of annoyed me, and I knew that after the first 10 minutes of the movie, it gave you a clear warning sign what this movie really was. Mm-hmm. It was going to be campy. It was going to be filled with action. Somewhere midway in the movie changed into being Tron-esque spaceship.
Yeah, that shit was
exploration film.
I think they took
all over the place.
The high-tech technology of Atlantis. I think they took that way too far. I mean, just way too fucking far.
It wasn't bad. It was different, but again, that scene of them going through the city and that chase scene with the hydro cannons, it really didn't match anything else from the rest of the movie.
Well, yeah, I mean, I will say one thing. Say what you will about Trump, but even Atlantis knows the benefit of having walls.
Oh, and
you can swim over those. Borders matter. Yeah, those Atlanteans know what's up.
Yeah, they built that wall, right?
A giant wall with fucking death rays on top. And I'm like, yeah, but couldn't I, like, go way, way, way above the wall, go to where the center of the city should be, and just come straight down? I don't see the fucking point of this.
How did their security find him in the middle of nowhere?
It's called plot device. You don't need to know. It just moves the story forward.
A lot of things from the beginning of the movie just threw up a couple of red flags, but I knew they had to move the movie forward. The one thing that had me a little irked was when Aquaman's dad met his mom. She was just eating random shit around the house, didn't trust him.
Fish.
And then all of a sudden, she spoke English. They could have had at least like maybe 35, 40 seconds of just trying to, feel each other out, to have some kind of
I wouldn't have a problem with her. She's royalty. I wouldn't have a problem with her speaking foreign languages. It's not that big a deal. Nah, she's royalty. You know, I mean, maybe she could have said, "Oh, I can speak your language because I'm royalty," but that was unnecessary because it was unimportant and no one would have cared.
Okay.
They're just looking to move things forward. That's all. Just looking to move it forward. That's all. I did feel there was way too much technology in Atlantis and lost cradle of civilization, all the technology, blah blah blah. Oh, when we had so much technology back when people were still in the dark ages or whatever, they had steam engines and flying ships and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, it's all nice and well, but your whole fucking civilization sank to the bottom of the ocean. I think that would put a serious crimp in your technology level. Why wouldn't you just go to one of the places that are still above the ocean and not just take them over? I don't get it.
That first attack that Atlantis did to the rest of the world, where they're just placing freaking aircraft carriers that are being beached. I'm like, that shit is fucking heavy as hell, dude.
Well, not just that, but the whole thing is they made a preemptive strike. He could have ended the whole war by saying, "Hey, I'm from Atlantis. It's real. We did that. Don't ever fuck with us again." But it wasn't about actually stopping the surface world from doing anything. He just wanted to be called Ocean Master and kill everyone for some reason.
For whatever reason it was, I guess.
I don't even know. Like I said, they implied that he had mommy issues. So
mommy
I
issues
know.
he did have. I just can't stop looking at this woman with this red hair. She's freaking
fake ass red hair.
Beautiful as shit, man. There is nothing more attractive than seeing a woman that's wet all the time in this.
How long were you waiting to say that joke? How long? No, look me in the eyes and tell me how long you've been waiting to say that. You've disrespected me and you've disrespected our entire audience with that. You know, right now, I'm really kind of reaching for other things to talk about.
There's really not much. I mean, I was shocked that Dwarf Lundgren was in this movie when I first saw him. I was like, oh my god, that's fucking Dwarf Lundgren.
I was shocked that Dwarf Lundgren was there, and I was just waiting for them to put him in the shitty Aquaman tights. But they did explain why he was wearing them. And that's what the original King was wearing, but the original King had armor over most of that and was also wearing a cape, so he looked dignified. But this guy just takes it, puts it on, and looks like a fucking schmuck. And he's like, yeah, well, that's what the King had. They'll
update his costume just like they updated Amber Heard's costume. Because her first appearance was in the Justice League, and her costume was covering way too much of her body. I mean, she still looked great in it, but her costume was covering a bit way too much. I mean, that -1 waistline was ridiculous. There's this one action scene that they're running in Italy, or wherever the hell they were.
Which was completely unnecessary.
Now that I think about it, that whole segment of the movie is really not necessary.
Because it didn't move the plot forward. We need a fight. Let's do it. That's why that happened. Because they needed a fight scene.
When they're looking for the trident, it didn't even feel like it was all that complicated to find. It's like, you got this one thing that they say they found. You got to decode it. It tells you where to go see it and decode it. All the clues were very simple. It was not like no national treasure kind of
No one
theory.
ever figured this out
All
beforehand.
this time. Yeah, I mean, it felt kind of ridiculous. And I turned to you when there's like, hey, they put the little gears thing in, and I turned to you as like, she drags the sweat off his brow because they need to turn this device with water. And I turned to you as like, they could have just peed on that.
And then what did he say? You know, we could have just pissed in it.
I was like, oh, okay. We could have just did that. And that scene was kind of funny to me because I was like, yeah, you could just peed on it.
Yeah, or spit.
That's true.
Spit would have worked.
My whole thing was they're just breaking shit for the sake of breaking old shit.
No,
old artifacts.
They're just trying to seem mythical and this and that and shit. Man, I completely forgot Nicole Kidman was in Days of Thunder.
And look, she looks exactly the same.
Yeah, she looks a million years younger. Jesus. Time is a cruel mistress. Keep forgetting how old she is. Yeah, but anyway, that whole scene was unnecessary. Finally brought Black Manta into it with his full Black Manta gear. I'm like, all right. And then get him out of here. Fucking, that fight did not last very long at all.
They Boba Fetted his ass.
Oh, hell yeah, they Boba Fetted his ass. It's like, this is the guy that's going to start some shit. They got rid of that motherfucker real quick.
What's the emphasis of his granddad's knife anyways? Is that
Nothing.
Atlantean steel?
No, because when he stabbed him with it, it didn't do anything.
Okay.
That whole bullshit story with his grandfather and that's how he got his name, I'm pretty sure that's all bullshit. I don't recall any of that at all from the book.
Okay.
So I don't know where the fuck that came from.
All right, let's rate this movie.
Yeah, might as well.
But what is the one thing that disgusted you before we wrap this shit up?
What, about this movie?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't really feel it's fair to say what disgusted me because I was still surprised that it was competent. It was terrible. But, What disgusted me? What disgusted me? Really, every time I saw Patrick Wilson's face, or every time he said something, he had really no redeeming qualities or character traits. I don't like that. I really don't like to see that in my villain. It's honestly, I think it's a tie, because if I'm going to be perfectly honest, every single time Jason Momoa opened his goddamn mouth, I felt my blood grow cold a little bit. Him and his fucking one-liners, that really got on my nerves. Also, them bringing Nicole Kidman back at the last minute. Oh, your mother's alive and she's going to join you and it's somehow going to be a happy ending. I'm like, why you always got to fucking do this, man?
You notice they dressed him like a hippie throughout the entire movie?
Yeah, well, not a hippie, a free spirit.
Oh, okay.
There's a difference. He's a free spirit. Yeah, you know what? If you're going to say what disgusted me the most, I am going to say them bringing Nicole Kidman's character back at the end to say that somehow she fought off hundreds of thousands of man-eating fish things in order to survive, and she's still there, and it's like, it's stupid. But what's the thing that disgusted you?
Those Atlantean soldiers that couldn't breathe regular air.
Well, no, only the royalty could do that, they explained.
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it that disgusted me. Not much really disgusted me in this movie.
Yeah, to me, that wasn't a shitty thing to do, to say that not all Atlanteans could breathe air. That made sense to me. That actually made a lot of sense to me. Yeah, only royalty can breathe.
The second thing, I was really confused. I really thought William Dafoe was a villain in this movie, and
I think
he wound up not being a villain. I was like, a twist? Because normally he would be the villain, but I could not.
I would have had him playing both sides. Like, the only reason this kid wants to declare war is because Willem Dafoe is convincing him it's going to be for the best. At the same time, he's trying to get Aquaman in there to fucking kill him. One of you two is going to die, but either way, the throne will be weakened and I will be put in a position of power.
I just can't get my eyes off of this Amber Heard. My God, man. They put way too much clothes on her on this scene.
No, I'm fine with them having all those clothes on her. Having her go around half naked wouldn't have made any sense, no matter how
I know. I'm just...
I will throw out my review for this. I am going to give this a solid middle of the road matinee. I was very tempted to go higher because they made something that was watchable out of something that had all the ingredients to be absolute shit. It was somewhat watchable. I'll just give it a straight matinee. Not high, not low. Let's give it a matinee. Make sure you have other shit planned, because in no way will this just like make your day. Just have other shit planned.
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna also give this a high matinee. A high matinee because it's a DC film. They're the underdogs now. Don't quite seem to get their shit together, but they're really trying. And they're knocking it out of the park, supposedly.
With what?
With the characters you really don't want to see.
Yeah,
so,
but I mean, after that Spider-Man, I can't even say they got the animation market locked up. They don't got shit.
All I know is they hit a third base hit. It's not quite a home run, but it damn nearly got them almost to home. There's a lot of things to really like. I really wish I would have got more scenes of him growing up as Aquaman, not so much as him being Aquaman. I wanted more of that childlike discovery. I wanted more of that childlike humor of him like flying through the water with the dolphins. I thought that was fun. I wanted to see him enjoy himself as a kid with these powers, because that pulls you in, that pulls kids in, that gives kids more of an imagination that Aquaman is them. So I really wish we would got more scenes like that. The effects were really good.
Yeah, I'll give them that.
And it was funny, while they're in water, they looked dry. When they're on the surface, they looked wet.
That makes sense, because does a fish know it's wet?
No.
You know, so when you're in nothing but water, you do look kind of dry. Then it was kind of corny using the sea creatures to make elegant looking clothing. The jellyfish that were supposed to be a fucking shawl. I was like, get the fuck out of here. You know, that kind of shit. But whatever, it still looked nice.
It still looked nice. So yeah, definitely a high matinee for this movie. And because you got to see Amber Heard. My God, man. That waistline is not real. That can't possibly be real.
If this is all you want out of the movie, just go to fucking Pornhub, man. That shit's mostly free. We fucking paid $12 to get in here and see this shit, man. This is clearly all you wanted.
Well,
Amber
all the
Heard's
women wanted to
looking
see
like
Aquaman, and then all the guys wanted to see Amber Heard, but they didn't know about Amber Heard until they saw Aquaman.
I didn't give a fuck about no Amber Heard. Anyway, take us out of here. So we're going to give this one a matinee.
Don't forget to visit us on our website at g2ta.net and gottatalkaboutit.com, and don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube page. Also, visit us on our Patreon page, Patreon/G2TA, and this is the fellas. That wasn't bad, man. DC.
Define bad. I mean, if the best you can do is say, well, that wasn't too bad, and that's a fucking victory, you're in trouble, man.
That's true.
DC is in fucking trouble.
You know, Shazam might surprise you.
No, it won't. I mean, I looked at Shazam, and it's nice that it's lighthearted, but honestly, it didn't make me fucking laugh. Why'd the music just suddenly stop?
It's still there.
Oh, it's very fitting for this movie. All right, let's get out of here.